Hello and welcome to Mind Mutter Matters. My name is John Usher from mindmuttermatters.com. I invite you to join me as we explore our inner voice and the inevitability of identity and all that brings with it. Hi, hello and welcome. Come on in. This is a podcast about Mind Mutter. My name is John Usher from mindmuttermatters.com. And I love the whole topic of mind matter, the inner conversation, the inner dialogue, the internal voice, anything to do with our discussion and the way we talk to ourselves. And as far as I'm concerned, our mind matter, our internal dialogue matters. It has relevance. It has importance. A lot of people label that inner voice as negative. And I'm saying, hogwash, it's not negative. It is a positive force. And in fact, the more you claim it to be negative, the more you label it as negative, the more you put that judgment on it, the more fixed you are going to be in that perspective, the less likely you are to reap the benefits of a positive mind matter. And really, mind matter is a positive force in our lives. And it's going to be emphasized by our conversation today. Our topic for today is the fact that mind matter creates the energy or ignites the energy release that holds the faith space to create your reality. What on earth does all of that mean? So we're going to start at a point and work all the way through this statement. And it basically, I want to start with the fact that mind matter ignites or creates the energy in our lives. Or we said in the last episode of the podcast that mind matter is an echo from the past. It echoes the past. And what our mind matter does is it goes and it fetches our views and opinions, things that we've deemed necessary or important about our past, and we've slapped an emotion on it. Our mind matter goes and finds those identity statements, finds those points of view, and starts to echo, starts to repeat them. Because mind matter is an automated affirmation system. So it starts repeating it. It starts giving us the affirmations. What are affirmations? They just speak in aloud what it is you believe. Affirmations, if you don't have the belief systems, affirmation is a way to align your thoughts, your beliefs, your skills, your behavior. Align it, make it congruent, let it all say the same thing. And when it aligns, then we start producing results in our lives. Then those things start to materialize and manifest in our lives. When mind matter is pulling from the past and it is echoing, it's repeating the past events, it doesn't talk about the emotions in a past tense. It talks about it in present tense. In fact, you don't even talk about emotions. You feel them. And if you think about something, whether good or bad, that happened to you yesterday, think about that event. What happened to you yesterday that was great? Or in the last week, or in the last month? Something exciting, something brilliant. And you think about that event. And as you think about how excited you were, how awesome it was, how blessed you are, you think about that emotion, you will feel it. You will feel the emotion in the present. The same is true if it's a negative emotion. Think about something that's happened to you in the recent past that was negative, that had a bad influence on you, that messed up your day. And when you think about it, you automatically create the emotions in the present tense. You feel the feelings that came from back then, but you feel them now. They are the feelings about those events, but those feelings are now. What's the relevance of our emotions being in the present? Because our emotions create an energy around us. Whether it's a positive emotion, whether it's a negative emotion, or let's not use the words positive and negative. If it's a happy emotion, or it's a sad, frustrated, or angry emotion, doesn't matter. The fact is that emotion holds a space around us, an energy field around us. That energy field is in fact a manifestation, a materialization, turning into matter, pulling out of this spirit, into matter, our faith. What are you saying? That energy and faith is the same thing? Faith requires energy in order to operate. And I'm not preaching, I do have a biblical background, and it's not for me to sit here and say people are right or wrong. I'm not in that space. Just in terms of my experience, my knowledge and understanding, where I come from, my understanding of faith comes out of the Bible. And if you want to go and check it for yourself, Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 tells us that faith is the evidence of things hoped for, the substance of things not seen. And again, what do we actually say by that? What do we mean by that? So if it's the evidence of the invisible, it's the substance of the things not seen, that's telling me it is the raw energy that is hanging around in our space, that is creating the vibration that will attract into our lives. And faith can be a positive thing, a positive energy. It can be a negative energy. So fear is faith just based on anxiety. Ne? When we are in the emotion of the now, when mind matter pulls up the past and it's sharing the emotion, sharing the experience with you, which then reignites the emotion. That emotion, boom, creates this energy bubble around us, and that energy bubble holds the faith, the beliefs, the expectations of what we are going to manifest. So whatever that emotion is what you are going to produce more of. Now, for some of us, that's not such a great thing because there is a lot of negativity in that space. And this is not mind matter's fault. Ne? People say, yeah, you see, he told you mind matter is a negative thing. No. Mind matter is a creative force. It is creating that bubble. It's creating that energy release that holds the space of faith around us. That space of faith will create our reality. But all of it started with what we decided, the choices we made around our feelings about that event, whether they were good or bad. It's not what happens to us, it's how we react to it. So if I've decided it is negative, by implication deciding that an event in my past was negative, and I hold on to the feelings, I hold on to the anxiety, I hold on to the fear, the anger, whatever the case may be, it's going to bring it into the now, which is then going to create the space of faith around me. That's the vibration, the frequency of whatever I am drawing and attracting to myself. So in other words, my past is going to create the future. Jono, how do I control this? How do I affect this? It is about making choices of those events. Our mind matter is controlled by choices. We start defining what it is we want and make sure it is a positive thing. The difference that makes a difference in people, the successful and the not so successful, the happy and the not so happy, is how they talk to themselves and that energy of faith that they create around them, that vibration that they are creating consistently. Thing is, so on the courses that I host, I'm showing people how to do that. We get into the practicalities of that. When they come on a course, they walk away with a complete program in order to change their mind matter, make it more positive, and create a automated affirmation system that is working towards your advantage instead of undermining you all the time. And again, this is not about mind matter being right or wrong. Mind matter is purely a tool. It's like a record player. It will play whatever record that you put on it. So you've got to decide the record that you're putting on there and make sure that it is something that you want. One of the big things that I share with people on a consistent basis is if it's easy to imagine, then it's going to be easy to achieve. Be clear on what it is you want, the positivity, the happiness, and the identities that you want in life. So I'm going to give you some tools and tips. Now let's talk some practicalities here. So now you're dealing with a negative identity or negative self matter, mind matter, inner talk, inner voice, internal dialogue. If you are dealing with one that is negative, that is consistently undermining your productivity, undermining your success, undermining your relationships, in whatever area of life, that mind matter's root is based in an identity, an I am statement. Your I am unhappy, I am bad at relationships, I am... And it is picking up the mind matter, picks up the emotion of that and broadcasts it on a regular and consistent basis, which is then creating the energy sphere of faith around you. So that's what you attract into your life, more and more and more and more and more. So the question is, be aware, not question. The challenge for us is to be aware. So when we talk awareness and consciousness, be aware. Be aware of what? Be aware of what you are attracting into your life. Be aware of the identities that you have formed and shaped and what exactly that is drawing into your life. Let's get practical. If I want success, if I want happiness, now those two for me are worlds apart. Let's talk about happiness. I want to be happy in my life. Number one, I cannot wait for my circumstances to confirm that I'm happy. I'm not happy, I'm not making the decision that I'm happy based on my circumstances. Rather, I want my decision. I want to pick an identity that will then create the happiness around me. So I will pick an identity that says, I am happy. And I will imagine a scenario. And I call it a bubble image. I put that image in a bubble and I imagine myself in the future, in that bubble, happy, living life. And I fill that bubble with everything that is going to be necessary for me to be happy. The identities, the beliefs, the values, the observations. What am I paying attention to decide that I'm happy or not happy? I focus on the people around me. How is my happiness influencing them? I focus on my job, how my happiness influences my job. I am deciding I am happy and I watch the influence that decision has on my environment. And I make a conscious decision. I look at that bubble and I say, I like it. That's where I want to be. It's pleasant and I will fake. Yes, you heard me say that. I will fake the emotions of happiness and excitement about that bubble and I will feel it in the now. What I do is I attach emotion to it. The happiness, the excitement, the enthrallment, the wonder. The realization that I'm absolutely living in grace, absolutely living out of identity. And I see that emotion inside the bubble. And I kind of suck it out of that bubble and I say, that emotion I'm going to feel in the now. Why? Because if mind matter is able to pick up past events and bring that emotion into the present and use that emotion to create the sphere of energy, the sphere of faith around me, then why can't it do for future events? Why can't I then decide where it is I want to go and suck out of the future the emotion so that mind matter can then create that sphere of energy and of faith around me? So then what mind matter does is that automated affirmation is not about past events, past emotions, it's about future ones. And it's creating those affirmations and it's spewing it out. And all the time I'm affirming that that is where I'm going. That's the emotions that I'm going to feel. And the more I feel it, the more I create that feeling. The more I vibrate on that frequency, the more that stuff is going to be attracted into my life. Yo, I don't know about you, but that's pretty big to me. And I focus on the fact that if it's easy to imagine, it's going to be easy to create in my life. Why? Because the more I imagine it, the more I imagine what's going on in that bubble, the easier it is, the easier it will be for me to connect with the feelings. The easier it is for me to connect with the feelings, the easier it is for mind matter to pick up on those murmurings in terms of values and beliefs, skills, behavior, and put it into the automated affirmation cycle and just start confessing it in order to create that energy sphere around me. Yeah, what a pleasure. It's a big one, and for a lot of people it's not easy. For a lot of people it is easy. So whether you on the not easy scale or the easy scale, what I want to say to you, in my courses, I present very easy, straightforward, simple tools to help you imagine the future so that it's easy to create. So to hook me up, mindmuttermatters.com. You can find me on Facebook, johnusher.184. You can find me on Twitter, Osram the Bluebird. And when you do, you will see that this is a lot of what I am sharing there all the time. If you've liked this podcast, please help me grow this channel. Click like, leave me a comment, subscribe, share this podcast with others that may be seeking to understand their inner voice as well as searching more about their identity. You are welcome to search for more on mindmuttermatters.com or johnusher.com. And I hope to see you next time. Keep it real. Bye now.